PS4 League. This is our fourth season, week 2. I'm MVP President Kami Kozi, excuse me, Jaime, alongside NBP Commissioner Kami Kozi. It's not easy to being a professional broadcaster. And we are here with a awesome game from our NFC conference. Is this your division? This is the Ancient Empires division, yes. So featuring Rocky is back, the winner of our Europa Proving Grounds, and his Warpfire Stones, set to take on Blake Nuts' 666's The Fear Factory Dark Elves. What do we have to say, Kami?
These elves are scary. They killed Kiss of Lyman, and this next game, at least another one. And he just Blake's a pretty solid coach. He plays a pretty I wouldn't say like he plays a balanced game. Like he does take risks when he needs to, but he won't go crazy. And Rocky is just a straight agility coach. I mean he just likes to run. And also joining us in the booth is Tommy Keto. He's faking being sick.
Kami Jr.
I'm in right at kickoff. So the Warpfire Stones get some brilliant coaching, and now we're off and running.
You might be a little behind. If that just happened on yours, you might want to catch up. A couple of successful blocks so far. Got a couple rats on their back, but nothing major. A stun and a normal block. Doesn't look like either team has had any skill ups, as I'm looking at the added skill view, and I don't see any. So it looks like it's stock teams on both sides, although the injuries did allow the Warpfire Stones to get a Bloodweiser Babe on inducements.
If the player is pushed here, it will finish in the
We got a push right off the bat from the blitz. Maybe trying to open up a lane to go somewhere with that ball. And he dodges back. Is it interesting? I mean, it's a good matchup because both, Skaven has movement, but the Dark Elves also, being an elf team, they've got decent movement themselves, and of course the agility. But no witches, I don't think. This is an interesting Dark Elf team. Started without any witchy poos.
I don't know. I would say this is more of the conservative Dark Elf. So yeah, you're going bashy. You're going for run. I don't think he has. I can't see because the game's not letting me see. If he has an apothecary, I don't think he does. And by doing so, you want to minimize the amount of 87 you have on the field. So he has the one runner at 87. Everyone else is 88. He's got his 4 blitzers. You want to get those block havers early on. So you can blodge them up and just get a nice solid cage. And then the witches can come, because Witch Elf is pretty menacing right out the gate. I mean, even without block skills, can still just a frenzy jump up combo leads to some.
So you make a good point. You build up your inventory and you buy your witch once you've got your treasury, because you said such a good piece right out the gate that it's okay to add it midway or later in the team.
Yeah, I mean they're always going to be competitive or a threat even without a few skills. But I mean, Witch Elves really do shine once they've got some other things on them, but they're still a headache to deal with right out the gate, especially with the AG4.
Right. And as a former Skaven coach, what do you have to say about what you do? What's your keys to winning if you're Skaven? What's your plan? Oof, not that. You want to avoid dub skulls.
Yeah, avoiding dub skulls. Yeah, a lot of it is, minimizing your blocks. Taken is the biggest trick to Skaven for my, I'm not touting wisdom here, pearls, so everyone so they knows this. That.
Well, you did go 7-1 in the regular season with no losses. I think that's important to point out. Did you not?
Yeah, and I still don't feel like I ever truly understood what it was to be a rat coach. playoffs. They're just
Okay.
constantly,
That's a
constantly like,
dangerous
well, I
place to
guess this is working out for me, but can't exactly tell you why. But the biggest thing was just making sure I took as few blocks as possible, because anytime I was taking blocks, it was just the epitome for the bomb to fall out. And that's what happened in the playoffs, right? I was out one of my top pieces, and I just got blocked.
Yeah, it was hard
Blocked
without the
and
sax
blocked.
man in play. He was the guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah. So interesting standoff after the
still
first two
available
turns.
to any
Any
Skaven.
players? Oof. Let that be a note to any Skaven coaches out there, like Radis, DK Banana,
Not
and
a
of course the
wise place to
Warpfire
end your
Stones.
turn on the
You
border
can
of
get a
the
sax
pitch.
man
If the player gets
on the
pushed
open
into the
market.
crowd,
I kind of am hoping that I
you
can make
haven't
some sort of
it took
blockbuster
3
deal
games
happen
to
to
piece
get
the body
Lars
back
Skulldrinker.
together.
I heard he's retired, and considering he's currently being controlled by Dalt, still has his contract. I don't necessarily know if he's going to show up on the Uberwalt Cannonballs, considering I have to play Dalt twice. But I'm kind of holding out hope that Lars Skulldrinker can come home and play some.
There may be a loophole. There may be a loophole in his managing contract, because I still hold that.
Oh my God, that's right. I didn't realize that. You just transferred him. If we're going by
Yep.
like Premier League rules, that transfer is up and you retain his contract. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
The team is, yeah, because Skull is no longer in an active competition, so he's open for.
I like it. Let's check out the chat here.
Now,
What do
I
we
would say
have?
probably the ideal thing you want to be doing right now as the Dark Elves is just stay put. I mean, you have plenty of time. You don't want to give the Rats lots of time to score, or any time to score this half if possible, outside of a one tournament attempt, and then you can just negate that. The thing here is you want to just keep trying to set up blocks and hope for some casualties to thin out the rat pack, as it were.
That's the name of my. I have a dev team called the Rat Pack. They're called the Rat Package because the Rat Pack was taken. But
Yeah.
the point is, that's what they are. I mean,
We'd like
so
to,
yeah,
we'd
you
like to point
definitely
out,
see the Uber stall
from
here.
the chat. We had tons of fun echoing my sentiments as a Skaven coach, saying, I know what you mean. I couldn't tell you my strategy besides score more than my opponent. That's basically my strategy as a Skaven coach, is score more touchdowns than the other guy. That's gotta be the only way
I will
to do
say
it.
though, no team to play against puts me on tilt more than Skaven. Maybe like a couple other odd teams, because like I played you when we ended up you pulled the win out because you dropped a one turn on me in the first half, and then in the second half you had 4 players. You had 4 players.
Yeah.
You have no business scoring with 4 players. I had a full complement Chaos team with 4 Chaos Warriors. 3 of them are kill pieces. I think I missed next game or badly hurt like 4 or 5 of your players. I'm like, that's it. He has 4 pieces. I'm at least gonna get the tie.
Bet the
And
opposition didn't even see it go by.
he just 4 pieces, and he can still take the ball from me and score and get out of range.
Yeah, gutters with a pass and handoff can ladder the whole field. It's just so it's like the same. It's like a similar sentiment with Kislev, in that like it seems like almost no avenue is safe. There's just always, you have to like be extra mindful of where you're gonna put up tackle zones.
Yeah. Failed dice rolls and failed actions on your opponent's part, and setting up the best defense you possibly can are the only defenses I think against Skaven and insane mobility teams like Wood Elves and Kislev. Like, I mean, it's that leap, man. It's with Wood Elves, man. I've played games where I've put 6 people surrounding a player only to have them just fly out and then hand off, or only have to do like almost no work whatsoever to get away. But very interesting here. It looks like he's committed to the stall, and Rocky doesn't look like he's committed to. Oh, here he comes. Maybe now. Like, he's not going to sit here and let him stall the whole time, right? I mean, you got to bring some rats down, and you've got enough mobility that you can get back up the pitch. It's not a problem. Your rats aren't going to be out of position too badly with that 9 movement.
Yeah, even just having a gutter on the offensive side just to threaten, just to force a dodge or to do anything else, just to make dice rolls happen, can really hurry a coach.
That speed.
Like clairvoyance.
Be
It's like,
difficult to catch.
Tail, Jim. All
I
you
say
need
it,
is
and-
the tail.
now this is tough because even with a follow-up, you're looking at a block on a gutter runner. And he has to create giving himself a little action. One die with authority.
This is stun again, it looks like. Trent Reznor. Have
Trent
we addressed the
Reznor.
elephant in the room now that this is actually the game? How in the world is the name of this team the Fear Factory and Al Jorgensen is not on this team? I'm sorry. Like,
It's up to personal preference.
he's okay. So is it Metal Axe who listened to Fear Factory, and when they're like, "Oh, tell us some of your primary influence," Fear Factory, like I could see that for most of them, but probably not King Diamond or Gigi Allen. But I don't know. I want to know. Maybe he was so badass, he was like, "I'm not gonna play on the Fear Factory." Maybe
He's the
Al
coach.
Jorgensen is the owner. Oh, he's the coach. Okay. Wait, so
Yeah.
Blake Nuts is Al Jorgensen?
No. Blake Nuts is just the front office guy. He's just a lad.
Yeah, I got it. Well, I'd say he's the owner. And Al Jorgensen is either the owner or the on-field coach. But that's a question I want answered. Okay, so it looks like a karate chop, and it gets us down.
I saw a sliding.
It was a
front
kick. It was a kick. It was not a karate chop. I don't even think the Dark Elves
one of
have
those flip
karate
chops.
chop. I don't even think they
One
have
of
a
those
karate
fancy
chop.
foot chops people are known for throwing.
It was a foot fist. There was no question about that. So now he's got to
Foot
go off
fist,
to the
right.
racing. Marilyn Manson is not can't sit back and be crushed by these Skaven. Ooh, too soon. He's got to go forward and.
Too soon? Was Marilyn Manson actually accosted by rats?
No, I said
Breaking
crushed.
news?
And he did crush himself at his concert. He was trying to climb up on an apparatus or something, and it collapsed on him, and he was hospitalized recently. So,
Well,
you know, there's that.
sometimes you gotta get hospitalized. It's just part of the.
So I think Manson's going to go forward here, but he's going to need GFIs or a throw to make him safe, because he's in danger. He's in range of that. That runner can go the entire pitch, and he has other rats that would only need to dodge away.
No, I mean all he has to do is move up or move over out of range of the second gutter, so it's just red dot.
Yeah.
The blitz.
I don't know. Even leaving yourself open to red dies, I've seen what can happen.
Yeah. So he's a chance to come up and throw up a tackle zone in front of the gutter and pass off to Taylor. Time. He decided to stall out one more turn, which
So he's
Not
not
the
afraid of the red die. Is basically that's what you're
Well,
saying. He does have block too.
He's,
No, he doesn't.
He's backing up and he's gonna take away the
Oh, there
better
we go.
chance.
Yeah, there we go.
Block. So
Now that's
he's
logical.
really- now he's safe.
Yeah, okay. Smart play. Smart play.
No
Saved
no
his
rat
blitz.
can get to the. And now this is what kind of he's gonna force the rat's hand, see if they're gonna come in, bite. Put pressure
And
on
oversell.
that
Try to
throw.
oversell that commit, and then he can just go upfield with his group of elves. What do you call a group of elves?
I think
Is
it's
about to get punched above and
A flutter?
below the belt.
a cloister.
At the same time.
I think it's called the Tolkien, actually.
A Tolkien.
Free plug for Panera Bread. I'm enjoying their delicious peach pear hibiscus tea. Prickly pear hibiscus tea. I don't know. It's delicious. So I recommend you go to the
When you
Panera
think
Bread. We
of
just got one in Dover. It's our first Panera Bread, so I'm
when you
very
think
excited.
of poorly designed sandwiches, think Panera Bread.
Oh yeah, the sandwiches are. I'm come for the tea and the bread bowl soup.
I go to Panera Bread Company to get tea.
I ate their bread bowl soup. You can't have a bread bowl soup without a bread bowl from that presumably they bake on site. All right. Ooh, ooh.
Whoa! One die.
Dino Cazares is in trouble. He's okay.
And now we
Not a
have
lot
a
of blood
3+.
so far in the blood bowl. I'm
Well, the
disappointed.
AV8's holding up. They don't. Obviously, the Dark Elves aren't purchasing their armor from Kislev.
That Kislev AV armor is pretty shoddy armor for being AV8. What we've noticed so far.
Turns out there was some dust on it. It was actually AV6.
Ooh, we should call this group of elves a band. That's very smart.
A band of elves.
Yes.
Clever, clever, clever.
That Skaven moves like a brown streak.
Well, that's one.
Yes, the deep stall is not without consequence. There's no question there.
Oh, no, but right now, you're still looking at a rather free. There you go. Surge is still kind of open.
Yeah, you could
free.
still easily cross across the field, make a pretty makeable pass with agility 4, and then be on your way.
And there's been burning a reroll.
Fans are ravenous, so am I.
And kind of following up opens up an even bigger path for him to go, and
I mean,
then
because even now, all the runner has to do is walk over to the.
Surge tanking
the
can
blitzer.
get almost out of range here
Yeah.
if he were
King
to.
Diamond's knocked out though.
Ooh, first pitch removal, just a knockout. He's pretty old though. King
But-
Diamond's got to be in his 60s or 70s at this point. So, I mean,
So is his first action the ball into Taylor's hands?
that's what I would think of, and I would think you slip knot it all the way up to System of a Down, and you got yourself a cocktail going.
Got yourself a Steve.
I also take issue with the fact that not only do we have no Al Jorgensen, but are any of us to sit here and believe G.G. Allen is going to sit here and play organized sports? I don't really know. I understand that it's Blood Bowl and there's punching and killing and there's probably a fair amount of vomiting and feces involved. But are we seriously to believe that G.G. Allen is going to play organized ball? That's my only flub issue.
That's your mistake. These aren't the actual people. These are just dark elves that were named after
Oh.
from ancient texts from the Round World.
Oh. You don't get more metal than Dark Elves. So,
Is the
that's a
assist
very
gonna
good
be enough
point.
to come out on
That's a
top?
very good point. I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, so then at that point, naming somebody Al Jorgensen would be like naming your kid Jesus. It's just inappropriate unless you're Hispanic.
Yeah,
I got it.
He's going to sleep.
Wait, so it's only appropriate to do from Al
No, I just think they're the only ones who have the balls to do it. I mean, more power to them. I mean, they don't. I respect
Spanish?
that. Yeah, for naming their kids Jesus.
Oh no! Just a Spanish name. It just means like John.
Oh.
Significance.
Well, you know what? Now I've really ascribed a level of religiousness onto them that may not actually be there.
No.
Oh, he needs to re-roll, but he gets it.
Those pig bladder balls will get you every time.
They are slippery. Now, are you going to see a handoff with no re-roll? I mean, it's still AG4. I mean, so he should still be fine, but...
Yeah, you go for it. You set up a nice array of tackle zones.
Yeah, there you go. And now you're saying he can zig and go
stood next to the
over
other rat.
because he's got them backed up here with coverage.
Yeah.
Maybe he blitzes with the ball carrier.
I mean, I probably would have put Taylor on that line rat right now. Come up right next to a lineman.
Oh, so
That way he
one
would've
more
forced the
step. But wouldn't
dodge.
that have made the handoff harder? Or no, because he's
Probably
handing
didn't.
off into an open tackle zone.
Yeah, even oh no, I didn't mean the rat that's standing up. I meant the rat that's down.
Oh, I
Even
get you.
move.
You're right. And then you could have. I see.
Force the 3+.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't see who's going to use his GFIs. Now, Line Rat can still get him though, but he would need at least another one to get a 2-die. But I mean, he's got this soluble snarl. Can try an AG3 dodge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 3+, 2+ situation. But you'd rather just mark him with the dodge
That speed.
and go for the
So
3+.
now the lineman's
dodge.
probably gonna go for that. And go for the GFI on the hit.
2+. Right? They're both skillless. You can take them both down maybe. You got the POW even better.
Only use for a ball, in my opinion.
The beauty here is that there's still not a lot of pressure that's coming. That's a loner line rat that's nearest the ball, the smallest amount of tackle zones. So even taking that dodge is unlikely, especially with the loner. You don't want to burn one of your few rerolls you have now. Phenomenal luck with these 1-dies. Feeling good, but it's still bent in too much. The gutters can go for some single 2+ actions. I could even get the ball on a 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+. It doesn't. Oh no, Ozzy!
That was
You
to be
don't hang out
expected.
on the sideline.
Probably one of the oldest, and he's getting mauled. Doesn't really look like him though. Where's this game being played?
Obviously,
I guess
you
it
don't
doesn't
know
really
about,
matter.
you know of Ozzy's wig.
I wish there was an easier way to tell what stadium they're playing in without if you missed it. Is the team on the right the home team?
Oh, nanner peels. Now I see you probably want to just.
There it is, folks. Our first Stymie special, right? Yes.
You really in a good position to be fine. By not following up on that blitzer, now he can get and mark the ball with 0 dodges. You can get another guy marking the ball with 0 dodges.
Yep. And then he can go for the pickup with a single dodge out, right?
Yeah, just a 2+,
with
2+.
Surge tanking.
Yeah, and you'd have a pretty nice screen stuff for him. So.
Still don't want to score with this many turns left, though.
No. You want to right now. You want to set up that screen. So get your guys there. You can even just bring them up after you get.
Yeah, you can bring up Corey Taylor to tie up a couple of them rats if you want.
Just go get that ball.
Into the end zone.
Yeah. He still has the reroll, so I can see him doing the GFIs here. Because otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of rats downfield that could easily swarm and hit
Well, I
him.
mean, all you have to do is bring everyone else up to mark those gutters and you can even blitz one of the gutters with your blitzer and chain push your lineman up to really make a corner for yourself. This might exactly be what he's going to do. No, he's going to come the other way and make it a longer haul. Ooh, wow.
Interesting use of
I wouldn't. Yeah. Sometimes you see all that 87 and you think to yourself, all I need is a POW, and things are going to start getting a lot easier for me.
Yep. I've done that. We've all done that. Or anger burning them to try to get somebody down, like a war dancer that shall remain nameless.
Yeah, bro. Shut off? No. So it goes.
So it's still not going to be much to get for the rats to get in for position for a 2-die though. You know.
Oh, you're still looking at a line rat block to get that.
No, your storm vermin can get there. Reamid Squeak can hit him on the corner if he dodges out and gets marks on the far side and stands up that other guy.
Yeah, but it's a GFI.
Oh, it's not without risk. Blood Bowl is always risk. It also includes dodges involved in that.
This is where that blitzer, where Resonance placement.
Oh, this is easy. Yeah, he can just stand up the Beastmaster, and then the Stormworm can just hit the corner and get the 2-die because he's got the Journeyman giving him the strength plus. Hey, it's 2+2+ with a reroll in your pocket. That's reasonable, isn't it? Or 3+2+.
There, you already took the 2+ to block. You got 3.
Well, that's one way to describe it.
There you go.
Oh, he used
what?
Storm Furious, and now it's a 2+2+.
For GFI no block. Yeah, I thought he would have blocked with the other piece too, pushed him off, and then ran, and then he would have not had to use the dodge, have his reroll in the pocket for the GFI or the roll if it's not a POW. Could have been a misclick, but he could also, or then you just do that. I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter for all the mistakes you may make or the suboptimal play, so to speak. Sometimes it still works out just fine.
Journey Rat wants to be a hero.
He's thinking about that.
Burn?
No.
Oh!
Yeah, that one he's got. And G.G. Allen is wide open to be able to at least get himself some separation and maybe start on the other side of the field. Interesting. Chat says
Wheelies wants more fouling.
Yes.
Needs to up their game.
They need to up their game with more fouling. Agreed. We haven't seen any. Maybe there was some sort of gentleman's agreement, which.
But right now, I mean, we're looking at a pretty.
This formation gives them a safe progression. It's gonna be hard.
Oh. I bet he uses it.
You do not burn your last reroll.
And that will be. Oh, he did get it out. Okay, and then it did trigger. Okay. Right.
Yeah, but you just stand up. You stand up, G.G. Allen. You put any other person. And you take a 1-die. Curious happenings here, folks.
He still left that corner open. For,
yeah, no. You're looking at a 2-die block on the ball carrier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You left that, despite the caging, you left Trent Reznor open.
You put Dimebag on the top corner. You blitz in. You stand up, G.G. Allen. You blitz with Trent Reznor. You put Surge to mark both gutter runners so that they don't catch the ball on the hop. And then you just scrum it up.
Hope for the best, and you can still get yourself your touchdown.
Well, you just use your AG4 to get penetration on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Maybe throw a 1-die at the end of the turn throw the 2-die on the gutter runner. You don't get surfed.
Those players are very close. Smells like a fight is about to happen.
I guess you put Corey Taylor on both gutter runners.
Yeah, Corey, he can cover the 2 of them, and it still leaves you in the corner to blitz.
We'll see what gets done here. So now he's just marking up gutter runners, figuring that something's got to fail. He'll roll a 1 somewhere.
A snotling baked in a pie stands.
What's going on down here? All right.
He's just clearing that guy from getting surfed.
Where's the nearest pie shop, Jim?
Smart.
I probably would have waited for that though. I don't have any rerolls. You just gonna come in with the 1-die?
Oh, this could be fun, especially if the ball holder goes
Pow.
down.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
They've left the ball carrier exposed. They're could be a counter strike.
Ooh. Now
Very
you just
nice.
reposition it back around and throw up all the tackle zones over that ball. I would have Resnick come back just to at least, yeah. Maybe have Dimebag on the outside and have Corey Taylor try to pick up that ball. 2+2+.
Yeah, you go for Dimebag and go for Corey Taylor. Yeah, I think you go for let Corey Taylor pick the ball up. Or Dimebag can pick it up. Try to get a skill on him,
Yeah,
maybe.
Dimebag can actually score, but you don't want to score yet.
Not quite
And
yet.
it didn't come.
Oh, and
So many
Makes the
ones.
blood boil.
The story of
that's
ones.
not the kind of scatter you want, folks.
Mm-mm.
Very unfortunate. Now there's just one Dark Elf tackles him on the ball.
All you gotta do is blitz even with or just stand him up. You could throw a hit with the runner, and then your other gutter can pick the ball up and be gone. Don't even really need to do that. You just dodge in and out.
Yeah, I would rather put Beastmaster on that. But the problem is you can't push him free. So if it's just a push, because they're both out of rerolls here, so even one dies are just cause for turnover.
Right.
Getting
Going
knocked
blocks.
down with a free gutter.
One more step and
Right, because now you want to
to
get the ball and get the ball to that gutter, and then ladder that gunner all the way down the field, and he's gone. Or not gone, but it'll be very difficult for those two remaining.
one GFI for the
Yeah.
one GFI to score.
But I
By
mean, he
dodging
can get
through
himself
that.
pretty far.
Yeah, for sure.
But you risk the dodge in and out.
You don't want to
No one
mitigate.
squared
Nah,
before.
I don't think you want to go for the 3+, 2+. Throwing a one die block.
leave him alone anytime soon.
Interesting. Like he's clearly set to do some risky things here, but I don't know. That's what I would do. I know it's risky, but I would take your gutter, and dodge in and out. I mean, if you feel so inclined, blitz with the other one.
Now it's just a simple matter of getting the ball at their feet. It's never simple.
He's gonna
That's
go
it.
in.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Taking the ball
Yeah,
from
dodge.
right under the
There you go.
opposing
Now you
team.
just run down and you hand off to your other gutter here.
and you hand off.
Yep. We see Skaven shenanigans in real time, and now he can cut across almost the entire field, like you said, and put himself almost out of reach. At least out of reach of one of them.
You're gonna
I
go
haven't
this way
seen a
and
rat
make
run
the other
so
gutter
fast since I fired your agent.
wall around him. I don't know.
Yep. Oh no,
We're
just
still
provide.
looking at a two-die. We're still looking at a two-die block.
He can still get him in the corner though. Marilyn Manson has enough
Yeah.
movement to hit the corner
That's
and
what
get a
I'm- yeah,
two-die.
yeah. He still has a two-die block on him. Unless
Yeah, without the rerolls, I would have left him based. I probably would have done what he did, like move around, so you're basing him from the front, so he has to dodge through and waste the movement.
yeah.
But nonetheless, he's got the ball. He's got the ball, and he's threatening. And there's only a couple of. He's completely taken away the Dark Elf scoring threat right now.
There's too many Dark Elves on the other side of the field right now.
I mean, notwithstanding some sort of crazy long bomb heroics. Can this guy get there with a dodge though? Nope. No, you just go around with Marilyn Manson. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you get the knockdown. You push him up. You hope for the knockdown. You can push the gutter towards your line elf. Hopefully get a beneficial scatter.
Get next to the ball carrier so you can block him.
Oh,
If that doesn't
boo.
work, stab him in the face.
Still holding on to that ball. Don't think about it. You just need to force the dodge. One rerolling one happens.
Yeah, and he could also dodge with his piece north and blanket the gutter on the other side.
On the ball carrier. Well, actually,
Dino Cazares can hit that corner, and now he makes it a little bit harder to go through tackle zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Just layer all them tackle zones.
Yeah. Coming at the side. There you go.
Probably would have covered the corner there myself.
I mean, right now, all he has to do is just do a bootleg, and you can still score without a DFI.
That's what I'm saying. Whereas if he had left that guy to blanket on top of him.
Yeah.
Interesting positioning. But again, when playing and watching, a whole other ball game. It's always what we throw out as a disclaimer.
Yeah,
many
it's
times
definitely
I've watched my games back and going, why didn't I see that? What is wrong with me? And after I've done some particularly crazy stuff after, they're like, well, he's surely going to just stand this guy up and blitz here. Oh.
He's certainly not going to take the 5+, 4+, 2+.
Yep.
He did. And it worked.
And it worked.
Well, damn.
Exactly.
News reports of molten salt being harvested from...
Here we go.
Another armor break.
We've at least one injury so far and a knockout on the Dark Elf side and a knockout on the Skaven side.
This has been a pretty fairly unlucky half for the Dark Elves.
Yeah, some would call it a real soul-shattering experience.
I mean, honestly, at this point, you don't do anything else. You just bootleg out with a dodge,
and you score.
Take a touchdown.
What is he doing? He still has to dodge. Unless he's gonna stay and then mark that up to be a multiple die, and then he's got the built-in reroll. Does he have the movement to move? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, no, he does. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. No, I meant, does he have the movement to mark another player on Marilyn Manson so he can get the 2-die, because he's not going to throw a block with it.
Bring the other gutter down. You bring the other gutter down.
See, this is what I would do. I would have brought the other gutter down. I wouldn't be thinking dodge or anything smart like that. And now he's gone. He rolled a 6. There you go. Call it a day.
Because who needs rerolls, folks?
And the Warpfire Stones get on the board with a defensive score. They get the ball at the half, so that is going to be... That's exactly what you didn't want. Not only did you not want it to be 1-1 going into the half if you were the Dark Elves, you really didn't want it to be 1-0 them going into the half.
Especially with casualty on your side and a knockout.
Yes, and a knockout. He's just laying there. He's just laying there. It's no, Ozzy's the one who got injured. He's the one who's laying there. He's probably all pilled up. Let me see who it is. King Diamond. Oh, King Diamond is not getting up for the rest of this.
They're short of one player. That's a gap that can be filled.
King Diamond and Ozzy are the ones who give up first. Shocker.
You can't blame them.
I must admit, I think the only one I don't know is Dino Cazares and Max Cavalera. What bands are they? Like Lamb of God or something? Probably something like that. I don't know. I don't know either of them. Somebody in the chat, tell me, because I'm too lazy to do Google, who Dino Cazares and Max Cavalera are. Until
Soulfly.
Now, Soulfly, both of them?
No.
Okay. Is
can't Google that fast.
Which one is it Calavera or Dino?
Calavera.
Oh, okay.
Calavera was also in a band that was called Calavera something or other. I have already moved on to the other guys. Not
gonna work here.
Why is Dimebag just Dimebag? Did he lose his name posthumously?
Yeah. Oh no, I think I think when you say Dimebag, you just know, like it's not even needed. It's like like Madonna.
But everyone called him
or
Dimebag
Jesus.
Daryl.
I know. You're right.
Or Jesus. What people don't know is his name was Jesus Barabbas. So like Pilate just told a really funny joke. Oh, Dub Skulls.
Oh, Dub Skulls.
Come on.
Just Nuffle is just not. Nuffle hates metal, I think, is really what it comes down to.
Well,
I bet you're
just,
happy to see that half end if you're Factory. That was not a good half of play.
Unlucky half, for sure. Oh, but we got to wake up.
Nice kip up too. King, I was wrong. I certainly thought King Diamond was done for the day. How wrong I was.
That's what you get for
underestimating King Diamond.
Yeah.
I had a nickel for every
He's no
time I
King
did
Kong,
To
but
remain calm and collected, or else they'll be kicking the ball back to the winning team again.
I like this defensive formation.
you know
I
what's
like
really
the
funny?
flying
You know what's really funny is that you don't know that Dino Caceres, who is known for being the co-founder and guitarist of industrial metal group Fear Factory.
Damn it! I have been burned.
I can at least take knowledge and comfort that I'm not really like a.
I am not really into metal either. My brother is more of a
metal
huge
person.
metal fan. That's how I knew Al Jorgensen. But it still doesn't explain the lack of Al Jorgensen in Fear Factory.
I just know that I took Stymie to a Tool concert, and that was the genesis of him missing 100 and whatever days of his senior year. Nope.
Rebel pointing out that the back stall always gets you. Although he succeeded in stalling in the back, that wasn't the problem. It was what happened when he got into the other side.
When the stalling was done, it was the stalling being over that led to the problem. He put himself out on an island, and I mean, it was still a sound choice. It was just the rats got the roles they needed.
Oh, look. Is that Lord Borak down there, Bob, in front row?
I think it is.
Yeah. If you have to play Skaven and they get the rolls, I mean, and you don't get the injuries, it's very hard to
You're
beat.
in for a bad time.
It's very hard to beat. And you get the injuries, as in your players get injured.
Yeah. Now, what does Rocky want to do? Does he feel more comfortable on defense? Is he going to try to score quick and then just hang back with the two score lead and just?
It looks like he's setting up a one-turn attempt.
Nah, he's not.
Okay.
But I do think, because it seems like it's more, especially the way this game's been going so far, the ideal thing to do would be to score quick.
Yes.
And then
Quickly as possible,
even if
and then
you
just keep your players away from the
Yeah.
Fear Factory.
This player
Kevin.
likes to be well assisted in fight.
Morpheus of Hall, Kilvera. Who's he gonna do? Did he get him? Is he gonna fall down?
what's gonna happen? Oh no!
Ugh. Come on, some armor breaks. We want to see some blood. I mean, there's some blood splatter on that, but come on, let's see some serious stuff here.
If
That's
there
what I would do.
be
I
a
definitely
way
think
that-
you score quick and then just keep it away.
Yeah.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
Seen a lot of games played already. Only being Tuesday, and we're really tearing through.
The difference changing the cycle refresh date a day makes.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I really do.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
Unity is strength.
Oh, dub skulls.
Dub skulls. Rags to riches though. Gets the POW. GG Allen's going down. But
No
he
follow up.
stays ever resilient. He does not follow up. He don't
No.
want to pen himself in there. But
Yeah,
now,
Slullable Snarl isn't gonna fall for that. Gotta get up pretty early in the morning to confuse Slullable Snarl. Slew Abel.
isn't it slewable snarl? Is slewable even a word?
The word I was using wasn't a word and didn't stop me. Like Knee Table Nibbler? Ooh, I love these names.
I mean, they're the names that are auto-generated by.
They're good
game.
though. I like them.
Dryform cutter.
If there's only one reason I'm super happy, and I hate to be like that, we lost all those French coaches, is, man, it's a lot easier to do the recaps without some of them names. Like last season, like there was that elf team. It was like Thibodeau, Theodophorus. Like there were 35 letter names I had to type in for injury recaps.
Looking at a Skaven cage.
Oh yeah, Skaven Cage for the win. And that
Now
gutter's
he's
gonna
gonna
go all the way up and hand it to Beastmaster.
Hop on down and pass it. Throw the pass.
Oh, definitely go for the vanity pass.
Hiya!
That's how you move the ball.
Find that SPP. And now he's basically saying, because he doesn't even matter. Even if he throws everything at this cage, if he doesn't get to the ball carrier, he's just gonna dodge away and score.
Dodge away, dodge away, dodge away all. Well, I mean, the one way around it is to literally make it impossible to move.
Mm-hmm. But does he have enough pieces for that? I mean, will you just do columns right in front? And then...
No, you push the cage up one corner of the cage, and then you just throw up enough bodies and tackle zones so that nothing happens.
Logical.
Tommy Kiddo, what should the Dark Elves here do against these rats? No commentary from Tommy Kiddo.
He disagreed earlier with our plan of attack for the Skaven scoring quickly, but he doesn't have anything else to say on the matter.
He's got nothing else to say. He's playing snipper clips, so he doesn't care.
Oh, he's loving it. Is he controlling both of them himself, or are you helping out?
No, he's doing nothing by himself. Basically.
Oh. He's just cutting things. You're saying puzzles aren't necessarily being solved, but they are funny
He's just
shapes.
murdering one piece of paper with another.
Does that have online multiplayer or no? It doesn't. It's only couch co-op multiplayer. Because I would like to beat that. I have that as well, and my wife doesn't want to play with me. So yeah, it looks like he's gonna go the columns route and maybe make him go around. But again, he's got
still
enough
got to
movement.
force that initial dodge, though.
Yeah, you gotta make him work the dodge. You gotta collapse one of those corner cages in and do something about it.
No, it seems like he's just gonna.
More the merrier.
Ugh. Yeah.
So now he looks like he's gonna pit that corner. Oh no, he's gonna go back. He's not gonna force the dodge with somebody.
That's pretty funny, buddy.
All right. So now he just goes around and scores, right? He would need
can't do
GFIs
just that.
or to get somebody down.
That's it.
No, he's gotta be a little riskier than that. He's gotta go 1, 2. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he needs to take a. He's just gonna reposition that cage over there.
Rebel dropping you a compliment in the chat there, saying the only coach who stalls well is Kami.
He's clearly never seen what happens when I stall. Usually what happens is that someone dies, and I'm just like, ah, time to stop stalling.
Moved right next to a teammate.
Here comes the boom. Yep. Now that he's cut those tackle zones off, now he can cut that much sharper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still 2 GFIs if he cuts the corner with a dodge. But I don't think he tries to score this turn. I think that would be a little bit much. I think he's just going to reform his screen on the other side of the field with his gutter in it. Oh yeah, Rebel, don't listen to Kami. He does stall very well. Just because we end up hurting or killing one of his pieces while he's stalling doesn't mean the stall to win the game or score the touchdown wasn't successful. I've gotten better with stalling. I try not to do it as much, but I should have stalled that one more turn in my week 1 game. Probably cost me a win, so as opposed to a tie. So I definitely think there's a time and a place for it. And especially if you're playing against teams that can put up a lot of points against you quickly.
I bet the opposition didn't even see it go by.
Against Skaven, I mostly relied on odor, Jim. When it smells like old cheese, I let it rip.
Good call, Wheelie, about the kickoff debate. I was all about deferring. You're right. You defer so they score first, so you hopefully can score in the first half and then score in the second half and then 2-1. But my philosophy has changed with that. Being a bash coach, if I played against Gobos week 2, if I deferred, I'd have had Chainsaw Maniac and Bombardier and all types of crap running all up and down the pitch on me. I took the ball, pounded every one of them into a fine paste, so I still was able to win because you could still grind out the 2-1 if you force a second half early score on their part by keeping the pressure up and pounding them into pudding. But it works either way. If you're forced to be deferred, if you're forced to take the possession in the second half, you just make do with what you can, and then your strategy just changes on the fly. I think
you can throw the runner up here and mark, get a 1-die block, and you're looking at a 2-die block on the ball carrier.
And I certainly think, since we did a cycle reset, that taking the ball as opposed to deferring is even bigger because teams don't have big benches unless you're like a halfling or maybe Gobbo and you didn't get all the secret weapons because you can't afford a big bench. As the seasons go on, I think deferring to get the ball at the half makes more sense, especially if you're playing against a team that has 14, 15 players. You're probably not going to bash them down to low numbers in the time it takes you to get the half. But when you're playing like 11 on 11, first half can completely decimate a game. You can take out 3 or 4 more of their players. You make it really hard. You think he's going to be content to stall here? I mean, he's not really threatened at all.
Those players. Smells like a fight is about to happen.
The attacker has an assist.
Ooh!
Oh no!
That's got to be our 3rd or 4th set of dub skulls this game.
With the Dark Elves and the.
Yeah. It's basically the Stymie special in block form.
But everyone's favorite Stymie special, it's actually the cozy special is the Dead Rerolling Dead.
Yes, so you're right. I should have said Bort got a cozy special yesterday when he drunkenly used his apothecary on turn 2 to try to save a skillless line rat. with no SPP. And he got dead re-rolling dead. It was the best. I mean, I presume he did. Maybe he got a stat down and he just chose death. But I'd like to think it was dead re-rolling dead. We don't get to see that unless I drill down into the dice log. Good columns defense though. I mean, like the Fear Factory is doing what you got to do to try to stop it. Problem is, Skaven have so much movement that nothing's gonna stop them from cutting across and, you know, threatening again. And being it's 1-0, you take this. You're just fine. You're in the Skaven. You're not in any danger. You're not trying to score. You're not being threatened at all right now.
So just for fun, I shoved the ball down his throat.
Well, see, here's how I feel about the kickoff debate. Like Simon said, it does depend a lot on the play style you're going for. Sometimes even when I'm an agility coach, I'll take the sensible approach for me to do is to get the ball, so that I can dictate how the first half goes. If I'm not overly worried about defending, if I have enough threats, what I'll do is I'll literally just take the situation so that I can have the last turn. I have turn 16 down. There's no turns after me, so I can. It all depends on what I'm trying to get out of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And then when you do things like add secret weapons into the mix, it changes it completely together. Because then you're like, I get the ball at the half, but if I score on my turn 8, they get a turn 8, and now I'm burning up all my bribes if I don't have the bench to keep my secret weapons off the pitch for the next drive.
Yeah.
So, like, it is really layers upon layers to it. But I do like having that last turn 16. I think having that last turn 16 is huge a lot of times to pull off sometimes what you need to do, or even, and especially as a bash coach. I think if you're a bash coach, you pretty much want to get that ball almost any time, because you really, I mean, if you can wreck a team before it's their time to even possess the ball, that's strategy for most bash or control bash, you know. And even then, but the rats are still hitting. They are still hitting, and they are not afraid. Sets it up there. So you'll see him try to spread those points around all his gutters.
At the same time.
Do it.
Ball carriers pretty safe.
Ow. I did it. A hanger. A hanger. Hangers are really hard to catch, right? That.
Probably thinking about what he wants to do there.
Ah! You can reach in them.
There's in a pretty the rats are still in a really positive situation here. Not a whole lot that else can do to pressure
There's a
them.
pink one.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. And that's all he needs to do. If the turns are basically the Fear Factory picking up all their players to get punched by the rats, and then the rats punching them, and thus lowering their numbers, it plays right into stalling out and then scoring at the end to make it 2-0.
Gravel, bone dust,
Oh.
and the skulls of 5 players
See
agents.
that? That'd be higher. They do it. Oh, look at that. You can do it. Ah. It's so cool.
That is our on-field reporter. Those are actually the sounds from the audience in the stadium. That is our
Stadium mic.
yeah.
Stadium mic.
Stadium is mic'd up. Those are some very excited Blood Bowl fans, and you can tell that they're screaming for some action. Here comes the blitz.
Did you see that?
Okay, he'll take that, but still not what he wanted, probably. So now he's still in pretty okay shape. The gutter runner is still all right.
At this point, I probably would have gone for just the gutter rudder foul. Just foul him. Make him contemplate whether or not he should be stalling. There's no apothecary for the Fear Factory, but the rats, if they have to burn their ape on a foul, they're gonna think about going ahead and scoring. Right now, if Rocky doesn't feel the pressure to score now, then there's pretty much no chance outside of riots to notice an even game.
Right.
Yeah, Wheelie, the third person. Yeah, the third person, the person on my comm, my director, my executive director.
The real brains behind it all, an MVP. Oh, here comes the blitz. I think he's gonna try the old tie up and formation cross. You know, like he's gonna bootleg out and go and just fill up all his rats on the other side while also screening off the all the dark elves. How good did Rocky do in Proving Grounds last season? He whipped everybody, correct?
Yeah, we did a lot of agility. Rat thing. It was a lot more than 2 touchdowns per game, but. Yeah, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of coverage of the Proving Grounds. It was hard to tell just how the rats were getting those scores.
Yes, I admit. It was just not enough.
His plan is to roll back out, though. It seems like he's still a little too pendant for that to happen. He starts throwing some blocks. Or stands up gutters and dodges away with them.
We should call a rat cage a rat king. I think.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Why not?
Because you shouldn't do that.
Fine.
Oh man.
I think we've already broadcast more NFC games so far this season than we had broadcast Euro games through almost most of the season.
Yeah?
Well, those French time zones were rough.
I'd like to say it's the higher caliber of the NFC coaches.
That too. I mean, us AFC coaches are pretty awful. Pretty big
Bunch
louses.
of palookas.
Bunch of palookas, really. No real power there, like, you know, 2-time season champion or anything like that. Or season 1 champion in there.
Yeah, all the season champions. Yeah, no, that was then. This is
yeah, is Euro
going
to step up? What's the story here? It's 3
time.
seasons. Euro hasn't won 1 cup. Have not won 1 Nuffle Challenge Series final. I mean, they were in 2 of them. Season 1, we really didn't have a Euro group so much as like individual comps. I mean, I can't even remember that far back. So it really wasn't the same. But now you have no excuse, Europe. You better be representing.
Breaking news from Wheelie. He said Wheelie did take over in the Proving Grounds last year, and it was his dedication that led to him getting the call up this time. And he pointed out that he lost to Rocky 2-1 on a turn 16 touchdown, and he said that he's a good player TBF, which, as we all know, means to bum frogs. So,
right.
Yeah, frog buggery. I mean, I don't know what frog buggery has to do with blood bowling, but maybe something.
Just putting all our UK coaches on blast, so if anybody's walking by their computer or smartphone, they hear somebody say frog buggery, and now you have to explain something to one of your loved ones. There, a valuable service we are providing to you.
That's it. Get in their face.
A fun fact: frog buggery is legal in the United Kingdom. Frogs aren't people.
Come on, guys. Together.
Oh, so I'm not
That's
gonna
not a-
go all
that-
argy
that's
bargy
not a
over some
fun
frog
fact.
buggery, okay?
That's just a fact. It's how nature works. They're of a different species. It's like there's no law in the books that a dog can't commit murder. So, the perfect crime. Have your dog do your murders for you.
He's not gonna tell anybody.
Unless he's one of those dogs that can talk,
Likes
like
to be well
Airbud.
assisted in a fight.
Airbud could talk? I thought he could just play basketball.
You can play all the sports.
How did they film that? I don't understand. Was it
A
just a
GoPro.
shot of
It
a
was a
dog wearing a
GoPro.
jersey and then the ball was just being thrown into the basket? And
No,
your
no, it was a GoPro.
imagination
The
was
dog
supposed
really
to
had-
fill...
The dog
in-
really had abilities.
I'm sure that dog is long dead now.
Wheelie saying, you know, the game's got a bit slow when you're talking about Shaggy and Frog. And yeah, that's my only problem with stalling as long as this is that it doesn't make for an exciting game. Rocky, the Warpfire stones are going to be penalized in some way. The administration cannot stand for this lack of action, this inaction, if you will.
We're still thinking of installing a demerit system. We just haven't figured out how it'll work. It's all non-binding.
Smells like a fight is about to happen.
I want to institute a remerit system, but apparently that doesn't mean anything.
We'll take your merits away and then we'll give them back to you. Alright, here we go, and no blood, like, come on, one injury over here, was there even one over here? None over the other side. Let's see some frustration fouling at least.
There's no good foul but a spite foul. Looks like the Rats are going to come back over to the Dark Elf sideline.
I mean, that's where they
Because-
wanted to score originally. I believe he had a $20 bet with himself that he was going to score over the last two squares. That's what I think.
If the player is pushed here, it will finish in the public and in general. Fans
And now he can use all his free
Ooh.
pieces to just tie up.
Well, now's when you go for that crazy 5+ blitz in red die, where you just chain push the guy out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. At that point, what else can you do? I mean, it's only a 5+5+ twice, right? Okay. Now it's now you need sixes, but it could be done.
Oh man, what a mentally stimulating defense. An offensive conflict here.
He sealed it up pretty well. You gotta give it up to him. And he's isolated all the elves and burnt the movement out of a few of them. It's a pretty smart way to stall without exposing yourself necessarily to a lot of needless hits. Although, if these hits were that he was getting were breaking armor and causing injury, it'd be a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's really easy to sit there and stall and defend when your opponent can't get any block dice in their favor. Kind of lends itself to easy mode, as it were.
Oh yes, hate fouls. I would definitely be committing a foul every turn. I'd have been fouling 2-3 turns ago. Definitely. Without question.
The players arrive to assist their teammate.
That's what you got to do. I think that's one of the ways fouling serves its proper venue. It's an excellent way
This
to
is
get
the one.
people
This is
to
the.
stop
That would be a
fouling.
way that would instigate him to score, by having people based up and everything like that.
So right, it's just base everybody up so that you could just start getting shots on rats or forcing all these dodges.
Getting up close and personal, Bob.
You need to be close. So close they can smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
There we go. Unbreakable 7. Good to know it's still still a thing.
So holding up.
We have one knocked out rat. And
One knocked out.
rat.
We've just been
And he's not really knocked out. He's
Yeah,
just pretending. He just didn't want to go back
just
on the pitch.
has his eyes closed. Whenever the camera pans over to him, he goes, "Oh, I'm so knocked out."
Safety in number. Fans are ravenous. So am I.
There you go.
Just one more
Yourself a
step.
surf or something.
Yeah, you got those other guys in the mix. You can bring them over for the foul or the
Now
block
it's
or
less
something.
tackle zones. Less tackle zones means more iron. So I would go for that triple dodge. Yes, we went for it.
Should get a pay rise.
17%. He got the first one too. That's what's so demoralizing. But now he's there. So now he kind of has to score. Or foul. And then risk an ejection, then risk a surf, then risk a late game tie. All of this can happen, folks, if you just believe. Alright, so he's in.
Any advice from the
And the Warpfire Stones take a commanding
Make out your
2 to
bill.
nothing lead
Check your insurance policy.
with the
And that rat's
time.
still just taking a powder. He decided he's seen enough of this game. He was the only rat to get knocked out, and he figured he's using his magic,
I
his
imagine
ratly magic,
in their
by
great
staying knocked out. It's keeping it's holding the Skaven armor together.
Important thing.
So there's
It's what's
definitely
keeping him
something
knocked
shady
out.
going on with that
He's
armor.
absorbing all of the armor bricks. The only explanation for 87 holding up like that. I couldn't even keep 88 together this week. Although I guess the two biggest hits were on the 87 catchers, but Rocky didn't believe. he couldn't believe in his stall tactic for any longer. His heart wasn't in it.
Well, I think he did, because if he scored that early, it certainly was enough time for the Elves to maybe pull off a crazy 2-2 tie. But now they'll be hard pressed to score just the once.
Well, let's hope for a double riot kickoff with Dark Elves scoring both times. I want to see.
Would a riot at this point add turns? Because it's only, or would
Yeah.
that not even trigger? Could that trigger at any time, randomly adding or taking away turns?
Yeah.
I only ever see it at the beginning of halves taking away turns, and at the very end adding 1 turn. So that's the only time I ever see it. Not that I'm accusing cyanide of anything. There's plenty of time to accuse cyanide of things.
Hey,
Some
Jim.
sort of shotgun
How
formation.
many halflings does it take to change a candle in a lantern?
Well, they're very short, so maybe quite a few.
My experience, it takes 6. 1 to change the candle, and 5 for me to eat.
Can Blake Nuts put a score up on the board and at least get himself some SPP out of the deal? That's about right.
Perfect defense. Oof.
Perfect defense, and
Woof.
here's a kick on the line.
Yeah, woof. Well, the most likely thing here is it'll hopefully scatter forward, and then they'll just
Right, and then a touchback, and then
they can at least hope for a vanity level up for the 5 out of 6 blitzer. Pick and choose
yeah,
your
little
battles
Trent
here.
Reznor throwing a pass.
Well, Max can throw to Trent, and then Trent can throw to the runner the next turn. There's 2 level ups. There's still a lot that can be gleaned from this game for the Dark Elves. And once they get a few more skills on the guys, it'll be a lot bigger threat. But and this has been the rat dice the whole
Have
time.
you tried that?
Did Afro start his Dark Elf team without Witch Elves as well?
No, that's how you do it.
I know.
Something.
That is how you do it. You start without Witch
You
Elves.
don't-
It seems to be the smart
No,
answer.
no. It can't be like that.
Uh-oh.
What just happened?
Well done.
That's
I
a great
don't know
question.
how to.
And of course
I
the
don't know
Dark
how
Elves
to
get a
do
scatter.
it. I don't know how to do it.
Alright, you got that
For
pass
anyone at
though.
home. Yeah, you got that pass. I guess you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes.
So he will get he'll be able to get the pass with Max Clever, and then hopefully that's 2 level ups. Can't beat that.
This is the time where we're gonna see the Skaven pull off a red die nonsense.
Oh, and put 3 up on the board?
Yeah.
No doubt. They don't call it Skaven shenanigans for a reason.
What do you do?
You do.
Did you? You?
Woof. Oh, no, he
Unbreakable rat armor.
can't even take a journeyman off the pitch. If you have to play 11 Skaven
Yeah,
the whole match, it's hard.
Well, it's only 10, but still.
10, well, yeah.
When you're also down.
When you're also
even numbers against Skaven. Yeah.
The attacker has an assist.
That's really what I meant. Yeah, even numbers against Skaven. I mean, hell, only 4 of them is terrifying to deal with.
Unity is strength.
Push. Nothing but pushes.
Won't leave him alone anytime soon.
Blake rolls 3s and 4s on blocks, and rolls 2s and 1s on. Jeez. UG Allen just disappeared from my screen, from his player card. He walked out in disgust with his own player card. He's just, no, thank you.
Where's my sister? Snipper clips 2. Do you want me to look for snipper clips 2?
Does anyone know if there's a snipper clips too?
I can confirm that there is DLC add-on for Snipper Clips that's coming out in about 2 to 3 months. That's
No
going to
one
add
asked you, Stymie.
a
No
whole
one asked
lot
you.
of new DLC, or a whole lot of new levels, and an additional
I
mode.
don't want any nude levels.
No, new
Dad,
levels.
what is that for?
Nude levels.
No nude levels.
New levels?
Yes.
Did you get us new levels?
See, now I've
You
set the
changed
idea.
my icon to a Pikmin. You changed my icon to a Pikmin? You did. How dare you? You don't mess with the man's icon. Oh, one dies. Getting the knock.
There's one guys are getting the knockdowns, but nothing's getting the injuries. We need to see blood,
No.
and we need to see it now. Or a turn, some late fouling at least. He's coming.
Are fast, Jim.
He still wants that third touchdown.
He does.
Well, he's going to be
And they
surprised when he finds
wabbles.
his team has 0 touchdown. Nah, he'll have all the touchdowns.
Again.
Management tools.
Did you get me new levels? Did you get me
I did not get you any trouble. You're in trouble. Block doing things. Yay!
I don't have anything to do.
Rough. Rough being you, but you're tough all over, kid. Look at that.
Those vermin are
Just the
fast.
shine on this guy. Only the true beasts of MVP Pro win by 3
I haven't
touchdowns
seen
in their
a
second
rat
week
run
game.
so fast since I
Hey,
fired
Carney.
your agent.
I would say that my 4 touchdowns were more sign of
Somebody help me do this.
prime
The
sinister.
shortcomings of goblins.
Yeah, it was Goblin. Goblin, and I got a favorable blitz. His blitz wasn't beneficial enough.
These
He
games
needed the
are
loony
just too
left.
fast. Look
Once
at
you lose your secret weapons, it's very hard to do anything with
Yeah,
goblins.
because the blitz really arsed him because I was able to score early and get 2 secret weapons off the pitch. And
Yeah,
boy, did I need to do that. I needed to get them off the pitch.
and you did. It definitely, there probably would have been many, many dead Kislev had that gone in a different way.
We call that a fleeting pass.
Oof.
Coach is pleading that the
Oh, rough.
pass gonna play and save his
Oh
stick
no,
for
something's wrong, Daddy.
Yes, indeed.
Something is wrong indeed. Something is
That,
very wrong.
very wrong. He's got 2 rerolls, too.
That really hurt.
Oh.
Say again.
That really hurt.
Wheeling's complaining that he only got his 3 touchdowns. With the orcs.
He played Underworld,
Orcs-
right? They played the Sewerage?
Yeah, if orcs are scoring 4 touchdowns, then
How many
something's gone seriously wrong.
people did you injure, Wheelie? I think he's gonna get that. He's gonna go for that score.
Not up to much today,
How you back to
Hey,
3
Steven
injuries
finally had something
only?
not go their way.
Tag is exercise.
You must have had a lot of
Tag-
knockouts to
tag-
put 3 touchdowns.
For anyone
up.
that's wondering, tag is exercise. So, so it was more orcs being agile to score 3 touchdowns.
Was
Or
that a
was it
1
just-
re-rolling 1 by chance? Oh, 2
No, it would've
re-rolling
been
1. That was a 2
yeah.
re-rolling. Alright.
And I, for one, think that the Skaven deserved it.
Kami totally speaking like a player who's in this division.
I need more dead Skaven. This is who I have to play next week.
That looks like
And
it's shaping up to be a battle for first.
I have like 1 block person.
Am I correct in assuming that's a battle for first going into the interconference?
It is, thanks to my Monkey Shines week 1.
Rough start to go 0-2 in an 8-game season. Really rough.
But actually, it's not too bad, right? Because you're going to be paired up.
Yes, you'll play if you're better than your record, then you'll be paired up with opponents who presumably are what their record says they are, so you should easily beat them, thus picking up wins to carry yourself forward into the second set of division games. So a tough division can get some respite by maybe matching up against some interconference games where they think they're better because they're not.
Yeah.
And then another one.
Another one.
Oof. All right, break down these stats
Well,
for us, Connie.
Right now, we're looking at it was only 43% of occupation of the opponent's half. Felt like it was a lot more than that. Warpfire Stones had possession for 50% of the game. Of course, the tail of the tape was the Skaven just having the movement, was the yards running. A lot of that was lateral movement, just repositioning. The tail of the day was that the 87 held up. And Fear Factor couldn't really roll any blocks to get anything favorable anyway. The Warpfire Stones only rolled 16 ones, and the Fear Factory rolled 16 as well, and just when those ones came up was the issue. As we always like to point out, it's when the ones come is the problem. Sure can, though.
Yeah, because the dice log, again, the dice log looks really balanced. Except, yeah, it's when those ones seem to stick before and after other ones. Like they like to group a bunch of them together.
I mean, your factory had a few more skulls and a lot less POWs. Dodge did a thing. The 10 dodges they pushed weren't knockdowns, right? So, whereas anytime that happened against the elves, they were going down.
Talismans are
Alright, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, I want to thank Kami Cozy here, the commissioner, joining in with the chat, and of course, both Blake Nuts 666 and Rocky is back for giving us the time so we can get this game broadcast. Remember to check out nbp-pro.com for all your other awesome Blood Bowl PS4 needs, and of course to follow me on Twitch and follow the NBP Twitch as well if you want to check out more games. Our website does have a list of all our other streamers out there if you're interested in checking out more. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and remember to always praise Nuffle.